kaibanan eksekutif mahasiswa Universitas Indonesia 2023 to raise student awareness of sustainable development goals, along with providing support to bring students closer to actualizing the SDGs. This year, we proudly present a major theme, Fast Forward to 2030, igniting progress and accelerating the implementation of SDGs. Under this overarching theme, we have carefully curated three sub-themes for our event. They are from scarcity to abundance, ensuring universal access to clean water and sanitation, accelerating SDGs implementation through digital empowerment for disinformation of climate change, and charging climate action, accelerating the transition to renewable energy and technologies. Join us for a day extravaganza where brilliant minds come together to address the pressing issues of our time and promote sustainable development. Immerse yourself in thought-provoking talks by global leaders, pioneers, and experts in various fields. Gain insights, ideas, and strategies to make a real impact, creating more sustainable and equitable systems. Engage in interactive workshops where there's a wide range of like-minded individuals to develop practical solutions for the SDGs. Connect with professionals, activists, and fellow change makers who share your vision for a better future. Experience the electric energy of the UISS Summit. With its vibrant atmosphere, you'll be inspired and motivated to take action and drive positive change. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to be part of change. Together, let's create impact and shape destiny. UISS Summit. Adaptive, synergistic, and professional. For an event that will ignite your passion for change, inspire a brighter future. Presenting the UISS Summit. UISS Summit is a program initiated by Badan Eksekutif Mahasiswa Universitas Indonesia 2023 to raise student awareness of sustainable development goals, along with providing support to bring students closer to actualizing the SDGs. This year, we proudly present a major theme, Fast Forward to 2030, igniting progress and accelerating the implementation of SDGs. Under this overarching theme, we have carefully curated three sub-themes for our event. They are from scarcity to abundance, ensuring universal access to clean water and sanitation, accelerating SDGs implementation through digital empowerment for SMEs, global value chains, and charging climate action, accelerating the transition to renewable energy and clean technologies. Join us for a day extravaganza where brilliant minds come together to address the pressing issues of our time and promote sustainable development goals. Immerse yourself in thought-provoking talks by global leaders, pioneers, and experts in various fields. Gain insights, ideas, and strategies to make a real impact, creating more sustainable and equitable. Engage in interactive workshops where you'll collaborate with like-minded individuals to develop practical solutions for the SDGs. Connect with professionals, activists, and fellow change makers who share your vision for a better future. Experience the electric energy of the UISS Summit. With its vibrant atmosphere, you'll be inspired and motivated to take action and to drive positive change. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to be part of the change. Together, Let's create impact and shape destiny. OA SDG Summit. Adaptive, synergistic, and professional. So get out the first I think that's down to your spot. So I guess I'm down. That's Terpaksa tiada kasih indah wahai jelita. Ada apa lagi ku ucap kata cukup yang terpesona. Dari suatu hari kau jadi milik, takkan ku lepas diri, oh kasih. Bila waktu mengizinkan dirimu, rasaku mencinta yang yang sulit lagi di tengah dirinya. Seiring dengan berjalannya waktu, akhirnya kita berdua. Oh diri si malu melihat sikap yang lucu. Dari suatu hari kau dipilih, akan lepas diri kasih. Dalam waktu mengizinkan menunggu dirimu, rasaku pada yang sulit lagi dengan oh Tuhan cinta sayang kasih cinta cinta sama yang agak diri ini yeah, summertime. And in the summertime, if I don't have you as mom, you always in a magazine you showed up because you really make some mom blow up. Your personality is calm and friendly. The kind of girl that I would love to be with. Wants to start mom fall back in some stuff. So please call us. If I get close, sayang cinta cinta Super shy, super shy, but wait a minute, what make you mine? Baby, take a bite of my mind. All the time, I wanna tell you I'm super shy, super shy. I'm super shy. Super shy. Super shy, super shy, but wait a minute, what? I need to take it. Super shy, super shy, super shy. Get ready for an event that will ignite your passion for change, inspire a brighter future. Presenting the UISS SDG Summit. UISS SDG Summit is a program initiated by Medan Executive Class as well, because it has 2023 to raise student awareness of sustainable development goals, along with providing support to bring students closer to actualizing the SDGs. This year, we proudly present a major theme, Fast Forward to 2030, igniting progress and accelerating the implementation of SDGs. Under this overarching theme, we have carefully curated three sub-themes for our event. They are from scarcity to abundance, ensuring universal access to clean water and sanitation, accelerating SDGs implementation through digital empowerment for SMEs, global value chains, and charging climate action, accelerating transition to renewable energy and technologies. Join us for a day extravaganza where brilliant minds come together to address the pressing issues of our time and promote sustainable development. Immerse yourself in thought-provoking talks by book leaders, pioneers, and experts in various fields. Gain insights, ideas, and strategies to make a real impact, more sustainable and equitable. Engage in interactive workshops where there's a wide range of like-minded individuals to develop practical solutions for SDGs. Connect with professionals, activists, and fellow change makers who share your vision for a better future. Experience the electric energy of the ESDG Summit. With its vibrant atmosphere, you'll be inspired and motivated to take action and drive positive change. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to be part of the change. Together, let's create impact and shape destiny. OESDG Summit. Adaptive, synergistic, and professional. That was not gonna make it. Most of these aren't gonna. a dream high in the quiet of the night. You know that I really need. I got a first funny toy with a case. You know that I really need. And the was waiting for you to get dice. Just from the eyes. Said, kill me if you want to go. Go up and see. In these trying times when I'm class, Sunday was waiting for you to come to me. And I said, just with the eyes have me to be
Hello, everyone! Hi!
Ladies and gentlemen,
Honored guest, good
good
afternoon
afternoon
and
and
welcome
welcome
to
to the
the
grand
grand opening
opening
of
of
UI
UI SDG
SDG Summit
Summit
2023.
2023. A very warm welcome to all of you on this remarkable day as we gather to celebrate the grand opening of UI SDG Summit 2023.
First of all, allow us to introduce ourselves. I'm Dinda, and together with me is
Pablo,
we are truly honored and excited for guiding you as your host for this exceptional event.
on behalf of the organizing committee, we extend our appreciation for your presence today.
Now, please let me greet our special guest for today's event. Welcome to the Honorable Mrs. Julianti Ansya Sopakwa as the Technical Advisor of SGDs of UNDP Indonesia.
Dr. Rahman Kurniawan, as the manager of SDGs Environment Development Pillar of SDGs National Coordinator Secretariat Bapenas,
Mr. Johan Sulaiman as the Director of Sustainable and Green Finance Institute, SGIFN, and Dean's Chair of NUS Business School.
Ms. Sharon Sitania as our moderator. We are honored to have you here to help us deliver insightful knowledge to our participants.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, UI SDG Summit or UISS is a program under Department of Environmental BEM UI with the main purpose of raising student awareness for Sustainable Development Goals SDGs, along with providing a forum to bring students closer to actualizing the SDGs.
In this year, UISGD Summit presents the grand theme, Fast Forward to 2030, Igniting Progress and Accelerating the Implementation of SDGs.
We hope to see your enthusiastic participation in this grand opening as the initial launch of UI SDG Summit event series. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on this event, we have several agenda as follows: opening,
Official opening,
UI SDG Summit announcement,
keynote speaker,
discussion with speakers,
games,
UI SDG Summit competition registration extension.
and closing.
Okay, now we're moving on to the next agenda. We will be singing our national anthem, Indonesia Raya.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up and give your best regards to our nation's anthem.
Thank you very much, and please be seated. Okay, now before proceeding to the speech from our distinguished speaker, let us watch UI SDG Summit video profile to know more about our event.
Please enjoy.
Get ready for an event that will ignite your passion for change Inspire a brighter future. Presenting the UBI SDG Summit. UBI SDG Summit is a program initiated by Madam Executive Class as well, Universitas Indonesia 2023 to raise student awareness of sustainable development goals, along with providing a forum to bring students closer to actualizing the SDGs. This year, we proudly present a major theme, Fast Forward to 2030, igniting progress and accelerating the implementation of SDGs. Under this overarching theme, we have carefully curated three sub-themes for our event. They are from scarcity to abundance, ensuring universal access to clean water and sanitation, accelerating SDGs implementation, digital empowerment for SMEs, for value chains, and charging climate action, accelerating the transition to renewable energy and technologies. Join us for a day extravaganza where brilliant minds come together to address pressing issues of our time and promote sustainable development. Immerse yourself in thought-provoking talks by global leaders, pioneers, and experts in various fields. Gain insights, ideas, and strategies to make a real impact, create more sustainable and equitable. Engage in interactive workshops where you collaborate with like-minded individuals to develop practical solutions to SDGs. Connect with professionals, activists, and fellow change makers who share your vision for a better future. Experience the electric energy of the SDG Summit. Its vibrant atmosphere, you'll be inspired and motivated to take action and drive positive change. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to be part of the change. Together, let's create impact and shape destiny. OE SDG Summit. Adaptive, synergistic, and professional.
Wow, what's a really cool video, Pablo?
Now let us begin this event with the remarks from Melchizedek Huang as the president of BEMUI 2023.
To Melchizedek Huang, the floor is yours.
Oke, selamat siang teman-teman semua.
Ya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan untuk kita semua. Sebelumnya terima kasih kepada semua pembicara yang hari ini berkenan untuk hadir dan memberikan pada kita insight-insight penting untuk sama-sama kita belajar, Pak Rahman dan juga Mas Johan gitu. Terima kasih juga Sharon hari ini sudah berkenan memoderatori acara hari ini. Dan terima kasih yang sebesar-besarnya untuk teman-teman yang hari ini hadir, meluangkan waktunya di Sabtu siang untuk hadir ke Grand Opening UI SDG Summit 2023, teman-teman. Ya. Sebelumnya, kalau ditanya, kenapa sih BEM UI itu punya program namanya UI SDG Summit? Jawabannya simpel. Karena BEM UI 2023 punya concern gimana caranya mahasiswa UI dan juga anak-anak muda di seluruh Indonesia itu bisa ngomong banyak, bisa bergerak banyak, bisa bersuara banyak, dan bisa bertindak banyak untuk kondisi UI dan juga Indonesia dan bahkan global gitu. Awalnya kita bingung mau menyelenggarakannya dengan cara-cara yang bagaimana. Tapi akhirnya kita ketemu sebuah formula yang kita kembangkan dan kita lanjutkan dari tahun-tahun sebelumnya namanya UI SDG Summit 2023. Kita ingin ada sebuah forum, kita ingin ada sebuah rangkaian kegiatan yang sama-sama kita di dalamnya bisa bincang banyak soal poin-poin penting untuk membangun Indonesia dan juga dunia. Itu yang pertama. Yang kedua, kita ingin ada forum, kita ingin ada sebuah kesempatan untuk bisa melihat wajah-wajah muda yang berisikan ide-ide muda agar lahir pandangan-pandangan segar untuk sama-sama kita membangun Indonesia dan juga dunia. Yang terakhir, karena kami nggak mau diam aja. Dan saya yakin semua orang di ruangan ini pun nggak mau diam aja untuk kondisi kita yang hari ini mungkin tidak begitu baik. Dan percayalah teman-teman, di tengah harapan-harapan yang baik, harus dikonkretkan dengan cara-cara yang baik dan niatan-niatan baik agar muncul harapan-harapan segar dan pastikan kita ada di dalamnya. Sekian dari saya, terima kasih teman-teman. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Melchizedek Huang, for your exceptional speech. After this, we will continue the event with the remarks from Arik Rahansyava as the Project Officer of UI SDG Summit 2023.
To Arik Raihan Safa, the floor is yours.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, greetings of virtue. Good afternoon all, honorable speakers, participants, and friends. My name is Arik Raihan. I'm speaking here as the Project Officer of UI SDG Summit 2023. I'm speaking here on behalf of all my friends who have been collaborating nonstop to build this grand series of events from the ground up. Welcome. Today, we will be the pillars of discussions about the word. Fresh mind and ideas are our number one and hunger word for. So please enjoy our summit. I hope the best for you, for us, and for the world. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Arik Raihan Shava, for your speech. Now let's see official opening video from UI SDG Summit 2023.
Where the choices we make today shape the future we inherit. A generation rises, determined to make change for a sustainable tomorrow. Because our planet's health is our collective responsibility, climate change, pollution, and resource depletion threaten our health. But here's the good news. Our people possess an incredible power. The power to ignite change, to amplify their voices, and to create a sustainable future. The time for action is now. Let's declare the UI SDGs Summit 2023 officially started.
Wow, Dinda, I'm so excited because we can officially announce that
SDG Summit 2023 is officially opened. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we're moving right along. We will share you some information about UI SDG Summit.
As you can see on the screen, we have a grand opening on the 23rd of September. On August to October, there will be an essay competition. On 16 November, there will be Grand Summit. On 17 November, there will be final presentation. On 18 November, there will be student conference. And then on 18 November, there will be an awarding night.
Ladies and gentlemen, the success of this event is supported by
L'Oreal Paris,
Prambors
UI Sehat Mental,
and Danone.
Thank you for all who have supported us in making this event possible.
We hope to see your enthusiastic participation in this grand opening as the pre-event of the UI SDG Summit event series.
We also have a video profile of Prambors video. Let us watch the video.
Sekarang Prambors sudah punya apps loh, di mana kalian bisa dengerin siaran Prambors, baca Prambors News, dengerin Prambors Podcast, dan seru-seruan lewat live-nya. Prambors juga sering bagi-bagi hadiah lewat Prambors Radio Apps loh. Pantengin terus Instagram @Prambors dan download Prambors app sekarang juga.
Wow, what a fun video profile from Prambors. Don't forget to check at Prambors on Instagram and download Prambors radio apps. We also have another exciting announcement for you from L'Oreal. Let's check out their video.
Beauty is essential for humanity. At L'Oréal Group, we create the beauty that recycles 100% of its industrial water by 2030. That celebrates everyone for who they are. And without animal testing since 1989. Beauty that cares, with 67% of PET plastic packaging from recycled sources, 100% of our natural ingredients sustainably sourced by 2030. Beauty that opens doors with 25,000 work opportunities for young people every year. That creates a more inclusive future with 22,500 possible foundation shades. Beauty that protects the planet, restoring 1 million hectares by 2030. At L'Oréal Group, we create the beauty that moves the world.
We would like to share a special information about Brainstorm that is going to be held by L'Oreal.
So, Brainstorm is an international innovation competition organized every year by L'Oreal that has brought together ambitious students from all over the world. The competition gives students the chance to tackle a real business case, gain new skills, exchange with industry experts, and have an unforgettable experience.
The Brainstorm winners will embark on an exciting, once in a lifetime experience, an entrepreneurship mission in Paris to transform their winning ideas into real L'Oreal projects.
Also, Pablo, I will tell you that Brainstorm will be held next year and the registration phase will happen during the month of November to December. Okay, now we're moving on. We have another video and it's from Danon. Let's check it out.
Kami juga menggunakan dalam sekali pakai. Jalan kami divalidasi dengan seksama sepenuhnya semula. Aqua 100% murni.
For you who have been following us from now on, let's aqua first together. Why aqua? Because not all water is aqua, which is 100% pure coming from 19 selected mountains containing natural minerals and protected sources. So it already feels cooled before it's cooled, like nature wants you to drink it. Ladies and gentlemen, now let me introduce our keynote speaker, Ms. Ansia Sopakwa. Ms. Ansia Sopakwa is the technical advisor of SDGs for UNDP Indonesia.
Responsible for overall partnership between UNDP, Government of Indonesia and other stakeholders, 15 years of working experience in universities, research institutes, international NGOs and UN agencies, work focused on environmental and water and sanitation issues in developing country, especially in the sea region, PhD degree on Water Resources Science, State University of New York, USA. But unfortunately, our keynote speaker is not able to come here in person, but she left us the video of her speech. Without further ado, let's watch Miss Anshia Sopakwa's video.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. And first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting us, UNDP Indonesia, to be part of the University of Indonesia SDG Summit this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to discuss with you the pressing issue of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, by 2030. While the global communities has made significant strides towards these goals, various challenges including the COVID-19 pandemic, conflicts like the one in Ukraine and Russia, and other notable disasters have hindered our progress. Let's start by looking at the global perspective. The pandemic disrupted economies, healthcare system, and education, affecting almost every aspect of our lives. Conflict and disasters further exacerbated these challenges. However, it is essential to remember that despite these setbacks, the SDG remains a global priority. In the context of Indonesia, the country has been proactive in mainstreaming the SDG and leading sustainable finance innovation. Yet, there are still hurdles to overcome. UNDP, through the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence, have identified the most prominent goals in Indonesia SDGs achievement that include SDG 11, the Sustainable Cities and Communities, SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, SDG 3, good health and well-being, and SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Now, the question obviously arises for today's event is it possible to achieve the SDG by 2030? The answer is yes, but definitely it requires effective strategies, adequate financing, and sound policy options. One approach is to leverage the interconnectedness of the SDG to find policy with the highest impact that cover multiple goals and targets. We often refer to this approach as bundle policies. Bundle policies are supposed to silver bullet, right? There is no silver bullet. So we provide the approach that is bundle policies. For instance, let's take the goal 11.1, which focuses on ensuring access for all to adequate, safe, and affordable housing and basic services. By addressing this goal, we can positively impact not only goal 11, but also goal 1. There is no poverty, goal 3, good health and well-being, goal 8, and many more. Now, another crucial aspect that is important is to leveraging digital technologies as enablers of economic and social progress. The digital economy can contribute to multiple goals, such as Goal 1, again, no poverty, Goal 2, zero hunger, Goal 3, and many other goals. Digital health initiative, in particular, obviously aligned with Goal 3. Moreover, digital technologies played a pivotal role in democratic processes, enhancing participation, and, for example, with briefing mechanism, which align with Goal 16, that is peace, justice, and strong institution. Moving on to the third important aspect, that is charging climate action and accelerating the transition to renewable energy and clean technologies. The transition to renewable energy is not only crucial for achieving Goal 7, that is affordable and green energy, but also for addressing climate change, Goal 13, and ensuring that benefit reach all sections of community, promoting justice and equity. In conclusion, the achievement of SDG by 2030 is challenging but feasible. It requires innovative strategy, adequate financing, and effective policies. By leveraging interconnectedness, embracing digital technology, and prioritizing climate change, we can make very significant progress. Now, lastly, before we go into the event today, I would like to leave you with 10 things that students, most of you here, can do to contribute to SDG achievement. Number one, you can raise awareness about SDG within your communities and social media, right? So I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have social media accounts. This is your opportunity to raise awareness about SDG. What is SDG? What are those 17 goals? What entails and how you can make your contribution. It doesn't have to be big, but small contribution always also count, right? So use your social media to raise awareness. Number two, join or start a youth-led organization focused on a specific SDGs, right? So this is important. These are things like you with your friend, with your peer, working on waste management, for example, um, plastic usage, or rather not plastic usage. Things, the specific goals. Now, these obviously have to connect with your interest. And you can ask for your like-minded peers and friends to start something that focus on the specific SDGs. Number three, volunteer for local initiatives addressing SDG-related issues. There are many organizations, that work on specific SDG-related issues. You can join us volunteers. In UNDP, we have also volunteer, or you can come and work at UNDP with UNDP But it doesn't have to be UNDP. There are many, maybe in your church or your mosque and other social organization, you can volunteer and contribute. What important is to recognize what SDG it is that you are focusing on or you're contributing to. Number four, advocate for SDG aligned policy at local and national level. Now, this can be a little bit challenging because you're a student, but it doesn't matter. The student can also advocate for specific policy related to SDGs, and that can start from your housing complex, for example, your apartment building, apartment complex. You can promote or advocate so that everybody take care of their waste. Now, this is something simple, but if imagine if many of us, millions, thousands of us doing it, it can contribute. So never underestimate the contribution that you do. Okay. Okay, number five, pursue education and careers in field related to SDG. Now, this is obviously very relevant to many of you here, especially students. So, you can pursue education and career in the field related to SDGs. So, what field related to SDGs? Many, almost everything that you are doing, that you are going to school for, related to one or two or three or many SDGs. Now, again, identify what SDG. If you are studying engineering, okay, obviously there are many contributions towards it. Law, yeah, you can study law, you can study water and sanitation, economic, okay. These are very, very relevant. There are many of the SDG that you can contribute into. That is number five. So number six, support ethical and sustainable products and companies. Now this is very, very important. So what are the companies that are ethical and sustainable products? So this actually require a little bit of reading, right? A little bit of research. Am I buying product from companies that are ethical or not, or am I buying from companies that that use child labor, for example? These are a little bit of extreme, but it's important to educate yourself. Are you associate yourself with companies or organizations that are ethical and or sustainable or not? Yeah. So some of the aspects of aligning yourself with sustainable products is also with, like, for example, buying things locally, right? So because if you buy local, not only you support MSMEs, but also it doesn't require a transport from other country, for example, right? That requires energies that's not necessarily sustainable. So buying locally is one of the things that you can do to contribute to SDGs. Okay, number seven, engage in research and innovation projects tackling SD challenges. Okay, so these are again relevant to you students, but also professors that probably attending this afternoon. So research and innovation is very, very important for SDGs. So there are persistent issues. There are persistent issues that connect to SDG. For example, let's just take an example of water resources. Yeah, drinking water, for example. So in many parts of Indonesia, yeah, there is no problem, but there are some very dry areas in Indonesia that it's very hard to find water. Okay, is there any way that technology and research and innovation can do so that people in, for example, in NTT, for example, can easily find water? Why? Because access to water is one of the SDG. That's goal number 6. So it is very good contribution if you can engage in research and innovation projects that tackling SDG challenges, especially goals that are very hard to achieve. Number 8, participate in global conference and events related to SDGs. So this is, for example, the event today. Yeah, uh, kudos to the committee that put together this event today. These are important. Yeah, these are important for you to have um, conferences like this, events that raise awareness and bring people together to think. Um, because again, um, one person contribute is good, but together, obviously, the impact will be bigger. Now, let's collaborate with international peers on SDG initiative. Again, this is relevant with you. I I read somewhere that today the participants today are national as well as international students. So and I also know that that the University of Indonesia have many collaboration with international universities. So this is an opportunity for you to engage with your peers, collaborate in various SDGs. Now, I hope some of you, and I will encourage those who are not yet to participate, to collaborate with international peers, to learn, but also to contribute together on SDG initiatives. And number 10, hold stakeholders accountable for their commitment to SDGs. This is important. Okay, so government, private sectors, or even university, your university have maybe made their commitment. Yeah, commitment in certain SDGs. You want to know what those are. You want to then use your student community um, to hold them accountable. If University of Indonesia leadership said we want to achieve this SDG at 2030 and contribute this much, you want to know that and you want to remind them all the time and hold them accountable so that they will meet their commitment. The same thing for government of Indonesia, or maybe where you live. University of Indonesia is in West Java, in Depok. So maybe that's important to know what the mayor of Depok have made his commitment upon. This is something that you can do together and hold him or her accountable. So these are the 10 things. There are many more things that you can do, I encourage you to look at what you can do as the student, but also as individual. Do you use your calendar, for example? This is the simplest one, right? So there are other simple things that you can do, but I will leave you with this then. Um, and I would again thank you for your attention. Let's work together. The future is yours for the student, and you want to make sure that you're contributing to prepare that future for you. Again, let's work together to make the vision of SDG a reality by 2030. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Alicia Sapakwa, for the remarkable speech. We all believe that by working together, we will be able to achieve our goal in 2030, or maybe even sooner.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now let me introduce our moderator for the next agenda, Ms. Sharon Shitania.
She is an undergraduate student of law at University of Indonesia, founder of NGO Paradigma Remaja, young leader of UNICEF, and awarded as a finalist of World Dream Project 2023.
Wow, she's a really cool person, right? Okay, without further ado, please welcome Ms. Sharon. The floor is yours.
Thank you to Pablo and Dinda. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to see you here and welcome all participants to the seminar session of Grand Opening UISS Summit 2023. Before we begin, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Sharon Sitania. It is my pleasure to be a moderator for the seminar session. The seminar session will be divided into presentation, talk show, questions, and answers. Now, may I introduce you to our first guest speaker, Mr. Rahman Kurniawan. Rahman Kurniawan is the manager of SDGs Environment Development Pillar for SDGs National Coordination Secretariat, BAPENAS. He's also active in socializing and conducts workshops in accelerating achievement of SDGs target in various regions. With his knowledge and experiences, Mr. Rahman Kurniawan will present SDGs point related to Goal 13, that is climate change. Mr. Ahmad Kurniawan achieved his doctoral degree in natural resources and environmental health management from the IPB University or Institut Pertanian Bogor. As an environmental policy specialist actively working for BAPENAS, he has also accomplished certification for 8 UNDP courses and technical advocacy for spatial planning and policy design. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Rahman Kurniawan. The stage is yours, sir.
Maybe better if I stand in front of because I should be my presentation. Okay, okay. Uh, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, Thank you for UI, especially for the community to help me to attend this event. But for first of all, I apologize about Ibu Pipi. Ibu Pipi Yulaswati is the Deputy Ministry for Maritime Affairs and Natural Resources. He cannot attend for this event because Ibu Pipi has been attending the same event in the UN compound in New York. They call the SDG Summit too, but for the high level political leaders, maybe. I think you will be there next period after Ibu Pipi goes to New York. You are the young leaders and you will be leaders in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon. I very great honor to have to this event, and I will deliver about the progressing the SDGs 13 about the climate action. Next slide, please. We start up in the current condition. In the current condition, we have the three environmental disaster. The UN's report called the triple planetary crisis. The triple planetary crisis, you will facing the climate impact. You will be facing the pollution and the degradation of the environment, and the other one about the biodiversity loss. The triple crisis will be produce several problem for our planet. First, the temperature of the Earth's surface will be increased, and that will be the warming for our planet. And then we have many impact for that. Uh, Next slide. Okay, this is in the global condition. The global condition, we have the same condition in Indonesia. The global condition projection, if the climate change crisis will be affected to many vulnerable areas. Many vulnerable areas and threat for the most population. The first of all, the population in the coastal zones, because the sea level will rise twice, and then you can the coastal in Indonesia too. We have the rob, the banjir in the pesisir, in the coastal zone, and then we have the some circumstances in the offshore when the small scale fisheries uh, small scale fisheries cannot access the uh, marine resources because we have the highly wave in the coastal and in the offshore, and then we goes to the Indonesian condition. Next slide. Okay, you can see in the right part of the slide, uh, mostly disaster in Indonesia, uh, nine 900 or sorry, uh, 90%, more than 90% is the we call the hydrometeorological disaster. Hydrometeorological disaster is mean the disaster produced by the climate change, like that. And we have the climate change produced by the emission. The emission in Indonesia, we have still many dynamic condition. We should go to slow down the produce the emission, and then we goes to next slide. Okay, what will we do for this condition in Indonesia? Ibu Anse mentioned before, we can achieve the 2030 agenda, but we need some strategy to achieve this condition. In Indonesia, we have three strategies to facing the disaster, uh, especially for the climate change. We have the low carbon development. It means we goes to more more development action, but will with low carbon emission. And we have the second strategies to by the climate resilience. That means we building the capacity of the communities to face of the climate condition. And then we have the disaster resilient strategies. Next slide. Okay. Sorry, I'm not very clear for the slide. I goes in my gadget first. Okay. Uh, what the sector is priority in Indonesia? In Indonesia, we have some priority to goes to the low carbon development. The first of all about the waste. You should be engaged in this problem. You should reduce our waste in our environmental, and then we goes to the private sector to goes the green industries, and then we goes to the marine and coastal low carbon because there are the vulnerable area from the climate, and then we goes to the sustainability and land and restoration. If you know, in our television, day by day they give the news about the forest fire in several areas in Indonesia, and then the one of thing after that, like Ibu Anse mentioned before about the uh, development of sustainable energy. Next slide. I think another strategy in Indonesia, our government, the government of Indonesia, the GOI, produced the green economic strategy and decarbonization. They will produce many program and strategies in the line ministries and other stakeholders to reducing the emission gas, uh, greenhouse gas emission. It will be reducing the global warming process. Next slide. Okay, we goes the SDGs as the tools to our development agenda. We want to comparing the global condition and the regional and the national condition. If you goes to 70 goals in the global, you cannot you can see the SDGs progress in the global. The in global only 15% the achievement target in SDGs. You can go to the goals 13. It's no green light, green condition in the global condition. It means the climate change is the one of the our threat uh, to be tackling the climate change impact. Next slide. If we goes to the regional condition in the Asia Pacific region, in the Asia Pacific region, the UNSCAP report uh, produced the report who state that it's the same condition in the global, only uh, less than 20% the target achievement in SDGs. And if we go to the goal 13 in regional Asia Pacific, we see the red one condition. Okay, we goes the progress by next slide by the academician to capture our condition. Indonesia in the SDSN it's mean the Sustainable Development Solution Network. The academician and expert collaboration to capturing the progress of the SDGs. See Indonesia uh, goes the increasing rank uh, to implement the SDGs for uh, uh, this year. Indonesia is in 75 rank in global condition. It means the increasing position. 3 or 4 years later, Indonesia in more than 100 ranks position. Next. Uh, Next slide. And we see the Indonesian assessment in the national context. In the national context, uh, we have more than 60% achievement in Indonesia in the green condition. It's better than regional and global. It means Indonesia it's rather better than our environmental condition in Asia Pacific and global. But we still have the red target condition. It means we should be accelerate the SDGs achievement in the national context too. Next. The first strategy we should be uh, make the collaboration for all of the stakeholder with not only government but with non-state actor. Non-state actor means the private sector, philanthropists, academician, youth, young people, NGOs, and of course the communities. Next slide. Another platform who will be engaged in this acceleration is uh, the universities. Universities, of course, should be internalized the SDGs achievement in the internal universities by the three dharma perguruan tinggi in education, in uh, social empowerment, and then in the research. Because the universities is the past learner communities, pool of knowledge communities, and then the universities is the one of the trustee platform. Next, we have more than 40 SD center in several universities, but you should see the East Indonesia, it's still empty. maybe UI should be facilitate our family in the Eastern Indonesia to develop the SDGs achievement. Next. And then we have the youth program for the ambassador for SDGs. I think we have two ambassador for SDGs, and you should be engaged and involved for the acceleration of SDGs. Next slide. I think this is uh, the resume of our strategy. And then another next slide, the last slide. This is the important thing for you about internalizing the SDGs in the university's activities. And then you are a student as is a part of the youth. You should be the agent of change to promote the SDGs acceleration. Maybe you can engage with several condition in the family condition, in the lifestyle condition, in the campus activities, and other activities. I think this is the last slide. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
You may see that, sir. Thank you so much for such an informative and comprehensive presentation related to Goal 13 SDGs. Next, allow me to introduce our second guest speaker, Dr. Johan Suleiman. Dr. Johan Suleiman is the director of the Sustainable and Green Finance Institute, SGFIN, at NUS. He's also a Dean's Chair and an Associate Professor in the Department of Finance at the NUS Business School. He also serves as one of the scientists at AIDF, Asian Institute of Digital Finance. He teaches in various educational programs and courses and has been involved in designing and delivering executive education programs for large companies and financial institutions in the region, primarily on topics related to sustainability. His current research focuses on the effect of geographic factors on various economic outcomes, including corporate social and environmental performance. His research has appeared in top economics and business journals and been covered in various international publications, including the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on Zoom from Singapore, please welcome Dr. Johan Sulaiman.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me. Let me try to stop sharing my screen if possible. Let's see if this works. Okay, so I'm not sure if I can see my screen. I hope somebody can give me a signal if this is not working. Um, perhaps you can let me know if there is anything that doesn't seem to work. Okay? So let me talk briefly about what's going on in the world. I think the world has experienced an explosive economic growth in the last 50 years. If you look at the very furthest end of this graph, you see the names of the country, and you see that a lot of countries have done very well in the recent past. And particularly in the last 30 to 40 years, there's been a huge growth in GDP per capita, and this is not just in specific countries, but it's all over the world. Okay, so this explosive economic growth is clearly very beneficial for many um, individuals, for many people in the population, in the communities. And if you look at various countries in the world, you'll see that the share of population that has moved into the middle class over the last 20 years is amazing. So about 50% of the population in China has grown from being in the lower class to now being in the middle class. If you look at Brazil, you see about 20% increase. In India, the slow increase. Indonesia is faster than this. But the point is that there's a lot of people moving into the middle class. Now, why is middle class important? Middle class is very important because middle class actually is the the largest consumption group. They consume the most relative to other classes in the economy. They, in particular, in terms of food. So there's a lot of food consumption by the middle class. Another consumption that's also growing with wealth or with economic power is energy. So there's a lot of energy consumption in the world, and this is driven by wealth. As you become wealthier, you spend more on energy. Now, one potential issue that we are facing now is that there's a lot of energy, electricity that goes into data center. So, for example, the current call that we have right now, my speech to you in the virtual world, is is using up a lot of energy. Now, of course, it's still less than the carbon footprint that I would have incurred if I were to fly to Jakarta and then go down to the campus. But it's still consuming energy, right? So all of the things that you're doing on your phone, all the things that you're doing on your computers, all those things actually use a lot of energy because it's not only the energy that you have on your gadget, on your device, but also the data centers, right? So the data centers actually use up a lot of energy. Now, Indonesia, you can see here Indonesia is still on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Indonesia is still currently consuming not so much energy per capita, and part of that is because of the economic growth. As the economy of Indonesia is growing, as people become more well-to-do, we will consume more energy. We will use more refrigeration. We will use more air conditioning. We will use more more cars and electric vehicles, what have you, right? We will consume more. And this consumption, particularly of energy, is very costly to the environment. So if we think about this growth in energy and electricity need, you can see here that there's this map that I'm showing you right now, and this is a map that tells you what's going on in terms of energy generation. Now, many of you may be thinking about why Indonesia has so many dots in this graph. And the dots here, each of these dots represent coal-fired power plants. Okay, in Indonesian PLTU, right? So these are coal-fired power plants, and the size of the circle tells you how large the capacity of the power plants, and color reflects the age of these power plants. So the orange ones are new power plants. The yellow ones are the operating ones. So Indonesia not only has a lot of operating power plants, but also new power plants. And these power plants are generating greenhouse gases. Okay. Now, of course, with the need of energy, then we also need to continue to emit carbon if we are still using the same methodology to um, to generate energy. Okay, so to create energy, if we are using the same technology, we are still using coal, then we will continue to emit a lot of bad stuff into the sky, right, to the atmosphere. That will then have a negative effect on our climate. That will then have a negative effect on our livelihood, right? So in Singapore, we worry a lot about sea level rise because Singapore is a very small island, it's a very low ground, right? If I turn off my virtual background, you can see how close I am to the water. It's actually, I'm probably about maybe 3 meters above sea level right now. And if the sea level rise by about 3 meters, I cannot even go to the front, right? So that's the problem. Okay, so that's a big problem. You need energy, but at the same time, this energy is generating a lot of negative externalities to others in the world. Okay, now what can we do here? Actually, the solution is right there in Indonesia. So Indonesia is the one of the world's carbon sinks. Carbon sink is a facility where we can absorb carbon from the atmosphere. Okay, so but how do we do this? How do we do carbon sink, carbon sequestration? Well, we need to maintain our forests. So the map that you are seeing here, and the map of the world, and telling you how big the potential of carbon sequestration there is in this part of the world, in Indonesia. Okay, so if you look at the right-hand side of your on the graph here, you can see that I'm circling the four biggest areas in Asia Pacific in terms of being able to absorb carbon. Okay, this is the second largest carbon sinks in the world. The largest is in the Amazon forest in South America, but the second largest is in our part of the world. The problem again is that these carbon sinks correlated with economic activities. Okay, so one idea here is that we need to do more forest restoration and conservation projects. But this beautiful picture that you see on the right is actually very difficult to achieve. Okay, it's very difficult to achieve because we need the forest to do something else for us. Okay, so I'm showing you now the size of the agricultural land in Indonesia, and agricultural land in Indonesia has grown rapidly. Okay, so when we think about forest deforestation, we think about, oh, maybe there's industrial activity that's taking up the forest. Not quite true. It is not industrial activities that are taking up the forest. It is agricultural activities that's taking up a lot of the forest. And you can see this because if you look at the forest area in Indonesia, that graph is declining over time, right? And the correlation between these two lines is very high. Okay, suggesting that a lot of the forest area that's being replaced now is actually driven um, by these agricultural activities. Okay. Uh, Now we may think that when we are doing when you're doing this forest preservation, forest conservation, what we can do is we can sell carbon credits. Okay. What is carbon credits? Well, we have this forest project. The forest project helps to preserve the environment, reduce carbon in the atmosphere, and therefore people should pay for this forest services. The problem is that whoever is doing this project is losing out on potential economic activities and particularly agricultural activities. Okay, so by doing these forest projects, we are reducing agriculture activities, and therefore we need to provide more to the people who are affected. Okay, now I would like to propose to you is a fintech solution for the agricultural sector. It is a fintech solution here. What a technology solution that can help us to improve the amount of food that we get from our land without increasing the size of the activity. Okay. So what we need is agricultural practices that are more efficient so that we can improve the agricultural yield from these scarce natural resources, which is our land and air, right? The tanah air. So we need to be mindful of wasteful usage. We need to be mindful of potential overuse of the land. We need to try to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and we will use technology to do this, right? So what is the technology here? Well, you can try to find technology that can allow us to be able to measure the sustainability of our agricultural practices and then turn it around and use this technology to be able to offer cheaper loans to farmers and producers. Okay? If we do this, then we can incentivize farmers to actually improve their sustainability practices in their agricultural work. Okay? If we do this, then we can certainly do better. Now, I'm going to stop here. I don't have a lot of time. But if you go to my website, I'll leave you the QR codes here. You can see more work in this space. And I would love to hear from any one of you. If you are interested in knowing more about the topic, please feel free to let me know. And we are working hard on trying to see what we can do for Indonesia. And I hope that you all do the same because I think you all can really make a difference in what Indonesia can do to achieve the SDGs in 2030, 2050. It doesn't matter when. We need to keep working towards the goals. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for an interesting talk and comprehensive presentation, Mr. Johan. And now, thank you to the speakers, Mr. Rahman Kurniawan and Dr. Johan Sulaiman, for their informative and interesting presentation. We will now move on, ladies and gentlemen, after we know about the comprehensive outlook of the Sustainable Development Goals. Now it's time to have a talk show with our speakers. I will first start to the first question to Mr. Johan. I hope that we are audible from here, Mr. Johan.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The first question is: the use of biofuel, burnt woods, is often promoted as an alternative of renewable resource of energy. However, that production still produces carbon emission and deforestation. So, why is it often promoted as the best alternative, especially in the industrial sector?
Okay, so the use of biomass is still not very efficient at the moment. We can do much better. We can do much better. And if we do better in terms of the efficiency of biomass energy generation, then we can certainly improve the renewability of our energy generation. So I see this as a partial solution. It is not yet a full solution. Uh, I think we need to think harder about other types of renewable energy before we, let's say, we give up and say this is the solution. I don't think it is, because I think we can do better in terms of the efficiency, and we can also do better in terms of finding other sources of renewable energy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johan, for the answer. I certainly agree that we can do better than that. Moving on to the second question, it is mentioned that carbon emission is a global issue with a regional solution. However, there are areas that are still left behind, underdeveloped, foremost, and outermost. How could that left behind areas contribute in achieving this SDG you have mentioned before?
So the financial sector actually has some solutions towards this goal. Now we have the carbon credit market, we have the carbon market, where we can pay for, let's say, the forest to be conserved. Right? When we do forest conservation, then people who are living around the forest, those people will be left even further behind, because we are stopping them from doing their economic activities, for example, agricultural activities. We need to do better for them. We need to be able to support their training, their learning, so that they can pivot and be part of the solution instead of being part of the problem. So I think there are many things that we can do here, but we need to build a better economic ecosystem to be able to support them.
Okay, so something I would love to highlight: being part of the solution instead of the problem. And following into the last questions, sometimes the growth of manufacture and the environment is often seen like a duel between getting profit or protecting the nature. Which of this is to be focused on more, or how can we balance them instead of prioritizing one over another?
This is a very difficult problem. It is clearly requiring a lot of energy. This is why we have a lot of these SDG efforts, because the problem is very difficult. There's a lot of coordination that we need to do to be able to make sure that not only the world is balanced, but also each part of the world is balanced, right? Because it could be balanced around the world, but it may not be balanced in Indonesia. And this will create a lot of issues. Economic growth is paramount for Indonesia. We need economic growth, no question about it. Can we still somehow contribute to sustainability while working towards our economic goals? That's the question. If now, of course, for Indonesia, I think the priority continues to be economic growth. We need to leave people out of poverty first and foremost. Then, can we do that in conjunction with sustainability, so that Indonesia can contribute to the global solution on achieving the sustainable development goals for the whole world, not just for Indonesia? Sure. But again, economic growth should be number one priority. And that is paramount. We need to help people out first. If you look at the SDG goals, one of the most important one, no poverty. We need to achieve that first and foremost.
Certainly, I agree. Thank you so much for the answers for the questions, Mr. Johan. Now we will moving on to questions for Mr. Rahman Kurniawan. I will move on to first questions. So, Mr. Rahman, how can communities, especially in vulnerable regions, enhance their resilience and adapt to the changing climate?
Okay. For communities, we have some program to support their communities to make the capacity building to facing the climate impacts. Uh, First, they should be make the more the sustainable lifestyle first. They should manage their waste, their water, and their environmental. And then from the government, we produce some program for the communities in the field level. Maybe in SDGs issues, we have the budget to achieve SDGs. We call the SDGs data in SDGs desa first, and then in our disaster institution BNPB, Badan Nasional Penanggulangan Bencana, the disaster management institution, produce the uh, they call uh, desa tahan bencana, what we should call the building capacity in village level and uh, kelurahan, what we should call about kelurahan. Yeah, the urban village maybe they call the destana, desa tahan bencana, to make many program to build the capacity in communities. They should uh, aware and have the local system to early warning system to passing with the uh, we call multi-hazard disaster. This is some example for that.
So basically, we have the workforce, the program, and now how we can escalate everything, and it comes back to our lifestyle as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer, Mr. Rahman. Now we'll move on to the second questions. We know for a fact that human activities are progressing towards the growth of technology. As an example, increased vehicle use and factory activities. On the other hand, we need to overcome the impact of those high human activities that contribute carbon emission. Um, so what can we do with that?
Uh, we should use the technology in the uh, green direction. We call green direction.
Green direction.
Green direction. For example, we goes to uh, energy transition.
Okay.
Energy transition make uh, uh, direct to we call the decarbonization.
Decarbonization.
Decarbonization to reduce the carbon time to time with technology and with the emerging energies in Indonesia. And then we can goes to the transition of the transportation with massive transportation, uh, green transportation. For example, we goes to the electricity vehicle to reduce the emission and so on and so on.
So basically, us students could resonate what Miss Giuliatti has said before, doing the decarbonization.
Yeah.
We can use like mass public transports and stuff like that. All right, moving on to the last questions, Mr. Ahmed. How can the widespread adoption of green energy technologies contribute to achieving SDG 13 by mitigating climate change? And how and what innovative strategies can be employed to accelerate the transition to a sustainable, low carbon energy future?
Okay. I think Mr. Johan mentioned before
Yes.
we should make the transformation from the biomass energy sources
Okay.
with the green energies.
Green energies.
Which it is the huge activities because we should shut down several power plant who produce by the bronze energy like what is it called the pit energy. We should transforming to the new renewable energy like the uh, maybe in Indonesia we can digging several potential condition like the solar energy, uh, and then the water's energy, because we have many sources for that. Not only in the massive scale, but we can go to the remote area by micro hydro electricity like that. I think in Indonesia we have uh, potential condition for that.
I see. So somehow this is a disruption into something more friendly to the environment. Certainly. Thank you so much, Mr. Rahman, for the answers. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that this talk show can broaden our knowledge about the SDGs from the two goals, economic growth and climate change. Now we have come to the Q&A or discussion session. In this session, we gave the participants the opportunity to ask questions directly to the speakers. Participants are expected to ask questions in both Bahasa Indonesia or English. Please raise your hands if you have any questions. Our staff will provide microphones and participants may stand, introduce themselves, and ask the question. Thank you. Okay, please, anyone, could you please pass the mic to the one with purple? Yep.
Check, check.
Hello. Yeah, please
Hello.
stand up.
Good afternoon, I guess. Boleh bahasa Indonesia?
Yes, you may.
I guess I want to ask a question to Mr. Johan, I guess. Uh, if we talk about making something or building something, we all but the benchmark also. What I want to ask is about do we have like the story, success story benchmark to a country that has been successful in the restoration and then maybe doing like the green economy thing. Yeah, because I know Indonesia has been in there, and then I want to know if the country that has been in getting success in that. Yeah, thank you. That's my question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Little nuts.
Internationally for success stories. Indonesia has success stories. Right? I think we just need to talk a bit more about what things that have gone well in different parts of Indonesia. If you look at forest projects, forest conservations, there are examples in Indonesia. And it's actually not that difficult to find. You just have to look up some of these forest projects. Now, I think one of the issues is that it is actually very difficult to find good examples because governments tend to stand in the way of progress in this type of forest projects or any sort of green economy because these green economies are very difficult to pay. It's very expensive to start these type of projects, right? Let's say I would say, okay, Singapore has been very successful in planting a lot of trees. Uh, I what I see now in front of my window now is just buildings and then greeneries behind it, right? So Singapore has been very successful in planting a lot of trees. But Singapore is such a small country that it doesn't make a dent in terms of the reduction of carbon. Just on the graph I showed earlier, if you really want to make a difference, it has to be in Indonesia. It has to be in places where it is large enough that whatever we do can make a difference. So if we are looking for examples around the world, there are many small examples, but those small examples don't really scale up to the size that Indonesia needs. Okay, so Indonesia needs to be the pioneer. We cannot be looking around for examples. We need to think hard about how we can do it together. Okay, not by looking around and looking at international standards, international benchmarks. That's what I would like to say. Indonesia really needs to be the leader in this, not the follower.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Johan, for the answer. I hope it answers your question. I'd love to give opportunities, of course.
All right, thank you so much for the time. Good afternoon. My name is Mudia Flin Zuhdi. I would like to ask my question to Mr. Rahman Kurniawan. Uh, it is actually known that we Indonesian have, less access to clean water, especially for people who lives like near of the riverside, such things like that. And I have read somewhere that Indonesia is actually deal bilateral cooperation with Denmark as we Indonesian are trying to improve our clean water access, improve our water quality. However, as I did my research too, the cooperation did not go well, as the number of the people access to clean water has not, improved, and people around Java especially, people around Java are hard to get the access to clean water. And actually, is not Indonesia is not the first partner for Denmark about the water quality management. India is actually one of the partner for Denmark, and India actually improved the clean water access for the people. And it's actually pretty saddening knowing that Indonesia cannot go well with that cooperation. And I want to ask, uh, why cannot Indonesia, like, you know, why cannot Indonesia give people access to clean water as like India did for the people? And why this cooperation cannot go well like India and Denmark do? I think that will be my question. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you may answer.
Thank you. It's the very hard question for Indonesia condition. Okay. We have many challenges to produce we call 100, 0, and 100. It's mean 100 people access to the uh, house, 0, 100 in the slum area, and 100 access to waters. This is our goals before in Indonesia. I think that's program including this project to 100, 0, and 100. The 100, 0, and 100 program produced by Ministry of PUPR, Housing and Public Services. But in the implementation, we have the many challenges. The challenges, the first about infrastructure, because the water uh, should be produced by support by infrastructure like pipes to goes all of the household. In Indonesia, a little different with Indonesia. We have the largest uh, island countries, not in the one uh, island like that. You should build many infrastructure in Indonesia. Uh, if you goes to the east part of Indonesia, you will facing the highly geographical condition. This is the one problem. The other problem about the responsibilities, because in Indonesia, our ministry uh, divide the responsibilities for the central level and regional level and uh, uh, subnational level. The water's access responsible to the local governments. It is the local government for several conditions to make the infrastructure and and one of things about the challenges. This is the important thing about governance. About governance, governance is the one of the uh, many problem in many issues in Indonesia. You can go the good program, good activity, but if not with the good governance, let's say the infrastructure uh, get a corrupted condition, it is not the best infrastructure we goes to. Uh, in Jakarta areas, from the Jatiluhur, they gives the many waters to Jakarta areas. But in the transportation, many pipes have the uh, lost condition by many condition. That's why we have problem, but we still need effort to collaborate central level and local level and to build the good governance, to build the sharing responsibilities, and of course about the good infrastructure for all of Indonesia condition with the passing the geographical condition like that. I think this is some sharing information for you. Thank you.
I see. So basically, maybe we have to fix our own problems first before we actually can collaborate with other corporation abroad. I see. All right. Okay, so that will be the last question, and we'll move on now. Ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate all of the questions, but sadly we have to end our Q&A session due to the duration. Once again, I would like to thank the speakers. Firstly, Mr. Rahman Kurniawan as the National Secretariat of SDGs Indonesia and the Ministry of National Development Planning, Bapenas, and Mr. Johan Sulaiman as the Director of the Sustainable and Green Finance Institute at National University of Singapore for their informative and interesting presentation, also to all the participants for their active participation in the seminar session. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally come to the end of the seminar. Before I close this session, please allow me to also take some highlighted points I have received today. Recalling what Mr. Johan has said, Indonesia is a carbon sinks country. That means we need to maintain our forests. Other than that, just like what Mr. Johan has said, globally, we haven't reached the best condition of our climates, and it becomes one of the biggest threats to us, the younger generation. For that, just like what Miss Giuliati has mentioned in the first section of today's seminar, firstly, we need to raise awareness to broaden the awareness of SDGs, how we can make contributions as the younger generations. Second, we can also start a youth-led organization to actually do something about this. Third, support the companies that are ethical and aligned to these SDGs points. And the last one is to remember that you have to participate and to do something, as we are the festival of the future. I'm Sharon Sitania signing off. So see you all and thank you very much. Over to you, Pablo and Dinda.
Thank you so much. What a really insightful talk show today. From this, we know that Indonesia's global condition can influence the vulnerable area, and we also have some strategy to achieve the SDG 2030, which is implementation of integration of low carbon and produce economic and decarbonization.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sharon. And we'll take it from here and further on. We would also like to thank Ms. Sharon, Dr. Rahman Kurniawan, and Mr. Johan Sulaiman for the insightful talk show.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will give a certificate of appreciation to our special moderators, Miss Sharon, and also our exceptional speaker, Dr. Rahman Kurniawan, then Mr. Johan Sulaiman. This session will followed by documentation. To Dr. Rahman Kurniawan, please stand up as we will present you a gift as an appreciation.
Smile to the camera and we'll take the photo in 3, 2, 1.
Smile.
Thank you. We're also going to deliver a certificate of appreciation to our special speaker, Mr. Johan Sulaiman, followed by documentation. To Mr. Johan Sulaiman, we'll take the picture in 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much to Mr. Johan Sulaiman for your presence. You may leave the room to continue your activity. To Miss Sharon, please stand up as we will present you a gift as an appreciation.
Smile to the camera and we'll take the photo in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much to Miss Sharon. For your presence, you may back to your seat. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we would continue the grand opening of UI SDG Summit 2023 with more exciting activity.
So what we're gonna do, Dinda?
We have quiz for the two winners, guys. So if you guys know the answer, please raise your hand and answer that question.
Okay, everyone, you may be ready and raise your hand if you know the answer. The first question's gotta be, how many Celtic mountains does Aqua come from? Maybe
Okay, can you please calm down again and raise your
lower
hand?
your hands and we'll count in
Counting in 3, 2, 1. Okay, maybe you guys can answer and please stand up and answer the question.
three.
How many? 19. Okay.
Okay, maybe we check the answer.
Okay, we check the answer. The answer is yes, Aqua comes from 19 selected mountains.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay, now for the second question and the last question. Name 3 brands of L'Oreal Indonesia. Very, very enthusiastic. Okay, please stand up and answer the question. Yes.
Please.
Okay.
Okay, that's the correct
That's
answer.
the correct
Thank you.
answer. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is an easy one because of how big L'Oreal name in Indonesia is.
Yeah, I have so many products from L'Oreal too.
For the winners, please contact Alessia for the prize.
Yeah, the winners, please contact Alicia now over there to get the prize. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that this mini game can refresh your brain and entertain your day. And now we have an important announcement about UI SDG Summit SI competition.
We would like you to know that UISG Summit 2023 is holding an insight competition as one of our events.
You can win a total prize of more than 1,200 US dollars.
The timeline for the competition can be seen on the screen. You can join our competition, submit your essay, and have a presentation if you qualified through the competition.
For you who are interested to enroll, the registration of essay competition is open until September 24th, 2023. Let us remind you, for those who are interested to enroll, the deadline for the essay submission is on October 2nd until 13th, 2023. Feel free to take a look at the guidebook by scanning the QR code on the screen to know more about the competition.
So what are you waiting for? Enroll now and invite your friends, family, and other motivated individuals to join and make an impact in fulfilling the SDGs for the world together with us. Ladies and gentlemen,
the success of this event is supported by
L'Oréal Paris,
Prambors,
UI Sehat Mental,
and Danone.
Once again, thank you for all who have supported us in making this event possible. We also have a video profile of Primer's video. Let us watch the video.
Sekarang Prambors sudah punya apps loh, di mana kalian bisa dengerin siaran Prambors, baca Prambors News, dengerin Prambors Podcast, dan seru-seruan lewat live-nya. Prambors juga sering bagi-bagi hadiah lewat Prambors Radio apps loh. Pantengin terus Instagram @Prambors dan download Prambors Audio app sekarang juga.
What a really fun video profile from Prambors. Don't forget to check at Prambors on Instagram and download Prambors Radio apps. For the next one, we also have another exciting announcement for you from L'Oreal. Let's check out their video.
Beauty is essential for humanity. At L'Oréal Group, we create the beauty that recycles 100% of its industrial water by 2030. That celebrates everyone for who they are. And without animal testing since 1989. Beauty that cares, with 67% of PET plastic packaging from recycled sources and 100% of our natural ingredients sustainably sourced by 2030. Beauty that opens doors with 25,000 work opportunities for young people every year. That creates a more inclusive future with 22,500 possible foundation shades. Beauty that protects the planet, restoring 1 million hectares by 2030. At L'Oréal Group, we create the beauty that moves the world.
We would like to share a special information about Brainstorm that is going to be held by L'Oreal.
Brainstorm is an international innovation competition organized every year by L'Oreal that has brought together ambitious students from all over the world. The competition gives students the chance to tackle the real business case, gain new skills, exchange with industry experts, and have an unforgettable experience.
The Brainstorm winners will embark on an exciting, once-in-a-lifetime experience, an entrepreneurship mission in Paris to transform their winning ideas into real L'Oreal projects.
Also, the brainstorm will be held next year and the registration pass will happen during the month of November to December. Okay, moving on, we also have the last video and it's from Danon. Let's check it out.
Aku percaya akan keajaiban alam. Maka kami tidak menggunakan galon sekali pakai. Galon kami disanitasi dengan seksama sebelum diisi ulang. Aqua 100% murni.
For those who have been following us from now, let's aqua first together. Why aqua? Because not all water is aqua, which is 100% pure coming from 19 selected mountains containing natural minerals and protected sources. So it already feels good before it's cooled, like nature wants you to drink it.
Okay, for the next and the last agenda, we will have a documentation session. For our guests and audience, please stand up and smile to the camera while we're going to take the photos. Okay, you can stand up, guys. We'll have a documentation together. Siapa yang memfoto?
Everyone, please look at the camera and we'll take the photo in 3, 2, 1.
Smile. Okay, the second photo. 3, 2, 1. Smile.
As you can see on the screen, please make the pose of SDGs. That's going to be our last photo in 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much, everyone. You may all be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, the documentation wraps up the grand opening of UISS Summit 2023.
Thank you for your participation. We look forward to seeing you along the event series of UISS Summit 2023.
Raise awareness of the people around you and make a great impact to make the world a better place. I'm Dinda.
And I'm Pablo.
Signing off. See you and have a nice day.
Ladies and gentlemen, before you leave this room, please make sure that you bring all of your trash and throw it to the trash can. After that, you may leave the room following the instruction from your field manager who will stand in front of your row.
Hadirin sekalian, sebelum Anda meninggalkan ruangan ini, pastikan Anda membawa semua sampah Anda dan membuangnya ke tempat sampah yang tersedia. Setelah itu, Anda boleh meninggalkan ruangan dengan mengikuti instruksi dari field manager yang akan berdiri di depan barisan Anda. Dimulai dari barisan di sebelah kanan saya.
Everyone, you may all stand up and go and follow the line to the exit door.
Once again, thank you so much for participating in our event.
And we are waiting for your presence in the next event.
pada keluar ya. Nggak pada keluar. Okay, next maybe for the left side.
For our participants in left side, you may stand up, follow the line, and go to the exit door.
Thank you so much, and please follow the line. Kak, 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 foto dulu. Makasih ya. Boleh nanti ya. Kita makan aja ya. Ya.
Get ready for an event that will ignite your passion for change, inspire a brighter future.